off remembering children's TV legend Simon Townsend. And exclusive, Pat Cummins on that injury. And the Poms comparing Sam Constas to Ray Gun.
Live from Perth, 7 News with Rick Arden.
Good evening and welcome to 7 News. A Perth girl just 4 years old has survived being attacked by a Rottweiler. The bite marks are just millimetres from an artery. You're about to see the horrific injuries that have triggered calls from her parents to have tougher restrictions on dangerous dogs.
Left with wounds her parents feared she wouldn't survive, the aftermath of a frightening dog attack.
Lucia was she was in a mess. Bleeding, puncture wounds. You have no power. I felt powerless.
The 4-year-old was swimming with her family at Quindalup in our southwest last Tuesday when an off-lead Rottweiler charged.
I made a beeline for Lucia, aggressively biting her on her shoulder, her neck, her back, in a completely unprovoked attack.
A stranger rushed to help and managed to get the dog off her. Lucia was airlifted to Perth Children's Hospital, where she underwent surgery for injuries to her shoulders, back and neck.
And it wasn't until that point that I had no question about whether or not Lulu would make it through.
The City of Busselton says the dog has been euthanised and that they are investigating the attack. Natalie is now calling for powerful breeds like Rottweilers to be kept on leads or muzzled at all times while in public.
It keeps happening again and again, and innocent people are going through much too much pain and trauma as a result of something that should be what I would think is common sense not being applied.
It is the responsibility of dog owners to make sure that their dogs are controlled at all times.
Lucia is expected to make a full recovery, but for this family, it's the mental scars that will last much longer.
It was, extremely traumatic, and I don't want anyone else to go through that.
Nick Overall, 7 News.
We're learning more about the fiery head-on collision that killed 4 people in Cloverdale on Monday. Let's go live to Francesca Danuccio. Francesca, tonight we know the identity of the killer driver.
His name is Rabin Raul, Rick. He's a father, husband and government employee from Cloverdale. Recent pictures posted to social media suggest the 43-year-old had been on a family holiday on Rottnest Island just days before the fatal crash. Friends have told 7 News Raul was a renowned member of the Nepalese community and they are still coming to terms with this shocking news. We understand members of the family are tonight making their way from Nepal to Australia. Raul was behind the wheel of the RAV4 when police believe he made a conscious decision to drive on the wrong side of Leach Highway before a head-on collision. The crash killed himself and 3 others in a taxi, a mother and daughter aged in their 50s and 80s who were passengers, and the taxi driver, 58-year-old Sindaku Tasema, a husband and father of 3 from Kundula. Investigations are ongoing. Police haven't ruled out yet whether the crash was an act of murder-suicide. Rick.
Thanks, Fran. We have a confronting image tonight of a man recovering after being set on fire. The concreter is in Fiona Stanley Hospital being treated for burns to 60% of his body. A GoFundMe post says the victim has undergone multiple surgeries and describes him as a strong and hard-working family man. Police say a group with bikie links threw accelerant on the man, then set him on fire in Baldivis 2 weeks ago. 2 people charged over the attack are due in court next month. The victim is expected to remain in hospital for several months. A bushfire burned just metres from homes in Ellenbrook today. Residents tried to use hoses and water to put it out, but the flames were too intense. It started in Musselbrook Park around 1 o'clock.
Within 5 minutes, that whole park had gone up, so I called the 000, and I think 10 minutes and the fireys were here, so they did a good job.
It took crews about an hour to get the blaze under control. No homes were damaged. A Perth teenager who drowned at a popular lake is tonight being remembered as a loving son and brother. 17-year-old Tyler Jury was swimming in Chidlow when he became trapped under a pontoon. Less than 30 minutes later, another man was swept out to sea on our south coast. The deaths have sparked an urgent summer warning from lifesavers.
17 years old, Tyler Jury leaves behind devastated parents, a younger sister and his twin brother. With him in Chidlow, but unable to save Tyler after he disappeared underwater, potentially trapped beneath a pontoon. Nearby swimmers at Lake Leschenaltia dived into the water to try and find him. But despite the efforts of first responders, he couldn't be saved.
I just want to extend my thanks and appreciation to members of the local community who worked tirelessly to try to rescue that young man until emergency services arrived.
Mates described a loving friend with a great sense of humour. A one-time Air Force cadet, the Year 12 had been considering a career in defence. This lake would usually be bustling with families and children at this time of year. But today it's incredibly quiet here, with the lake closed as investigators start piecing together what happened yesterday.
It's actually been a really shocking summer for West Australians.
The coroner also looking at how a man in his 40s drowned yesterday near Bremer Bay, and on Friday how a 22-year-old was taken by a rip at City Beach and later died in hospital. January 4 saw a 40-year-old woman die near Esperance after she was swept from rocks, after a Perth couple drowned at Walpole a week earlier. Today calls for more lifeguards, better education and more funding for swimming instructors.
Yes, calling on the state government to do more, but this is really about everyone leaning in. I want parents, I want families, I want local government, federal government, everyone needs to lean in. This is a collective challenge.
James Carmody, 7 News.
Federal Labor claims your pay packet will grow faster under its leadership. That's come from a new wage analysis released to 7 News. Meanwhile, the coalition has denied it will make changes to superannuation, despite an internal push.
More acquainted with political animals.
They're not as quiet as this in question time, I can tell you.
Peter Dutton visiting a zoo in Victoria's Grampians, a community still getting back on its feet after December's bushfires, as the government tries to knock Mr Dutton off his feet with a pre-election assault on wages.
The biggest risk to household budgets and to the economy more broadly is Peter Dutton and the coalition. Coalition governments always try and push down wages.
New government analysis showing wages growth for younger and lower paid workers has been almost double that for higher income earners since the last election. Wages below $54,000 up 6.2% a year, over 4% up to $90,000, above $125,000, 3.3%. Average wage growth of 3.8% a year since the election, compared with 2.2% in the previous 9 years of coalition rule. Anthony Albanese made wages growth a central issue in the last election and it worked. He's now hoping it will again.
4 quarters in a row we've had real wages increasing.
Anthony Albanese promised Australians that they would be better off under Labor, but Jim Chalmers has failed to deliver.
The coalition, though, fighting an internal push to cut compulsory super from 12 to 9% if they win government.
They want people working longer for less pay and they want people retiring with less super.
We have no intentions of changing the superannuation guarantee.
Wanting to avoid a pre-election super scrap. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Rita Safiotti has goaded the WA Liberals over the party's refusal to submit its election promises to Treasury for costing. The Liberals have labelled the attack a distraction. Jeff Parry explains.
Good morning, everyone.
Rita Safiotti has been trawling over Liberal and national election promises going back 2 years. And wouldn't you know it, here's the punchline. Ms Safiotti is exposing the Liberals for their refusal to submit a long list of election promises to Treasury for costing. The party refuses to say who will cost its promises.
They could be submitting it to the Dennis Denuto accounting firm, we don't know.
It's just the vibe of the thing.
The Liberals used the St George's Terrace accounting firm last election and it was a train wreck.
I'm here to present the costings of the budget itself.
And you're failing to do that spectacularly. The document was picked to pieces. How much? But oppositions simply don't trust Treasury. They see it as an extension of a government they're trying to topple.
If they don't trust Treasury, why would anyone trust the Liberals and Nationals?
There's an easy fix to this bickering over costings. It's called an independent parliamentary budget office, something Labor was committed to until they came to government. The Liberals say they'll release their costings closer to the election.
Western Australians don't trust Rita Saffioti when it comes to the numbers. I think her calculator's broken.
And in Roban today, protester Raylene Cooper forced the Premier to abandon his press conference.
Get away from me. Just get away from me. Get out of my face. All right? So, Premier, when have you consulted with me? Get out of my face. When have you ever consulted with the Aboriginal people here about what you're doing? Your government is doing.
Jeff Parry, 7 News.
A man has faced court over a violent knife attack in Perth's north. Joel Thomas Buckanara has been charged with wounding or causing grievous bodily harm. It's alleged the 28-year-old stabbed his father at their Greenwood home on Monday night. His father is in a critical condition tonight in Royal Perth Hospital. Matilda's captain Sam Kerr has fronted a London court accused of racially harassing a police officer. It's claimed it happened during a dispute over a taxi fare. Nearly 2 years on, the football star is set to face trial.
Australia's soccer star today facing a media scrum. Sam, what happened on that night 2 years ago? Sam Kerr leaves Kingston Crown Court in London. Her fate now in the hands of a jury after allegedly racially abusing a police officer on a night out in London. Are you worried about what it will do to your reputation? Since the alleged January 2023 confrontation with a police constable over a cab charge, the 31-year-old has captained the Matildas to a World Cup semi-final. What a goal! Sam Kerr! Scored a Super League goal of the season. And flown the Australian flag at the King's coronation. But today, it was her legal team squaring off against Crown prosecutors, the latest chapter in an extended legal saga that's previously seen her camp try to get the case against her thrown out. This matter will now be proceeding to trial, where the testimony of that police officer will be heard and body-worn camera footage of the incident will be shown. Kerr's already pleaded not guilty. Football Australia and her club Chelsea refusing to comment on proceedings, much like the star striker herself. In London, Ben Downing, 7 News.
The inferno that levelled entire neighbourhoods in Los Angeles has residents on edge and ready to evacuate once again. Powerful hurricane-force winds are threatening to whip up more flames that have so far claimed 25 lives.
An army of firefighters tackling a small blaze, determined to extinguish any threat before it takes hold. Crews smothering hotspots to protect the houses that are still standing.
Under any little rock that could be up there could be one little ember that's still up there being fed by the wind, and all it takes is for that thing to come loose and land out here and we would have another problem.
The feared Santa Ana winds swept through weaker than expected, but are set to strengthen to near hurricane force.
We ask everyone to get prepared now to evacuate.
Close to 90,000 residents have already been told to go as the investigation focuses on what started the fires that forced them out.
Oh no!
This video shows a blaze roaring near an electrical tower in the early minutes of the Eaton fire.
Holy!
A group of residents now suing the power company.
I wish they would have shut everybody's power off earlier in the day if they knew that there was going to be 60 to 80-mile gusts of wind.
While crews are still dealing with fires and all of this destruction, some people are taking advantage of the situation. Police have arrested dozens of people who've been accused of stealing from those who were forced to flee their homes.
Looting is not just a crime against property, it also takes away any sense of security from evacuated residents.
There's still no clear timeline on when those residents can go home. Thousands face coming back to ashes. In Los Angeles, Smiley Hogan, 7 News.
And closer to home on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula, an urgent landslide warning has been issued. One house has already slid down a hill and there are fears more will follow. Locals say they've been worried for years that something catastrophic would happen.
It's still so unstable, there's an exclusion zone of around 150 metres. The landslide which destroyed a 3-storey home yesterday, closing the area as authorities try to establish their next move and what caused it.
There is a high risk for a further collapse.
11 homes are now impacted. Evacuated residents might not be allowed back for 3 weeks.
Until we know from the geotechs what that slip is potentially could happen, we can't sort of let anyone in there.
The owner of the destroyed house writing online, "We are very grateful that nobody died yesterday. The slip occurred from above onto our land. We have engaged a lawyer and insurance and will be working through them." He said there was a smaller slip behind his place 2 weeks ago. The McLean family owns the house 2 doors away, but the council has forbidden them from living there since another landslide on the same hill in 2022.
We're just collateral damage and we don't have a say in what's going on.
I've seen the impact it has had on my parents, particularly my dad's health.
New questions about who's responsible for yesterday's more serious slip amid concerns of water springs and drainage issues.
Odds on that, and that water is still running, that something catastrophic could happen.
The local council, Mornington Peninsula Shire, wouldn't respond to questions today about how it's addressed concerns here over the past couple of years. Residents keen to get answers, given most properties up the hill are worth between $2 and $5 million, or were before the landslide.
Be a lot of for sale signs up, I think. If they can sell them, that's it.
They can't sell it, nobody would buy it.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
Sam Jolly joins us now. It was warm and sunny across the suburbs today, Sam.
And Rick, I hope we all made the most of it, because tomorrow